All right, everybody, welcome back. Welcome back. Thank you for joining us at the Safer Communities workshops. My name is Patricia. Our co-facilitator is Derek, who is there with his son, Stevie. We have Neela. We have Sierra. We have Tajon. We have Jaden. And we have Julian. We actually have quite a few J names in our group today. And today we're going to talk a little bit about a 2-letter word that means a lot. Do you know what word we're talking about? Ends with an N. Ends with an O.
No.
No. Yes. No. Julian, can you say the word no?
No. That's French.
Okay. Jaden, can you say the word no?
No.
Okay. Tajon.
No.
Okay. Sierra.
No.
Excellent. Neela.
No.
Excellent. Stevie.
No.
Perfect. Okay. Everybody can say the word no. Okay, so we can say the word no, but sometimes it's hard to say the word no, right? When is it hard for us to say the word no sometimes? Tajon?
I have a good example. Like, for example, if you're like me who has a bad spending habit, especially on Amazon, you tell yourself one part of your brain tells you not to spend your money on something you don't need, but the other part of your brain's saying telling you really want to buy that comic book, but you have to save up money. But it's just, a lot of times it's just uh this buying stuff, spending is just a bad habit. It's hard to control. What do they call it? They
Okay,
call it like, yeah.
that is actually an amazing answer, Tajon, because saying no to yourself is very, very hard.
I mean,
Okay?
self-control, yeah, it's really hard for me, for sure.
Absolutely, absolutely. So saying no can mean to yourself. Okay, and some people call that self-control. Okay, what's another time that we may say the word no, Sierra?
Hold on. If somebody asks you to go somewhere and you're busy, you have to say the word no. Because you can't.
Okay, okay, you're spreading yourself too thin, right? You got this to do, and 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 then someone's like, hey, what about? And you're like, I don't know if that's gonna work out today, but maybe another time, right? Okay, what about you, Julian? What do you think? When do you say the word no?
I don't feel like it's something. That's it. No thanks.
Pardon?
That's if I don't feel like doing something. I just no thanks.
Don't wanna,
Uh-oh.
right? You don't wanna do something. Okay, fair enough, right? Because when we talk about respecting ourselves, okay, who owns our bodies?
You do.
Jaden, who owns your body?
Me.
You do, absolutely. Neela, who owns your brain? Who's in charge of what goes into your brain?
Me.
You are. Stevie, who's in charge of who you let into your heart and into your emotions?
Me.
You are, absolutely. Okay, so that's a really important thing to remember about ourselves, that you are the boss of you. You're the boss of your brain, what you think, you're the boss of your body, and you're the boss of your feelings. And if there's anything that happens or any situations that occur and you're not comfortable, just say, no thanks. Okay, no. Now Now, this is an interesting part. What about explaining? If you say no to somebody, do you have to explain to them all the time why you're saying no to them? What do you think?
Not
Stevie?
exactly.
Stevie, do you have to explain all the time why you want to say no thanks?
Because no.
No, you don't, right? Okay. If it's something that you feel you want to explain to someone because you really respect them and you really want them to understand something, not a problem. Okay? But if something just doesn't feel right and someone keeps on pestering you and pestering you and pestering you, you can just say, I'm out of here, right? Okay, and try and get yourself out of a situation. Derek, have you ever had a situation like that happen to you?
Yeah, well, growing up, and we know as being parents and educators and that, but there's something called peer pressure. Peer
Mm,
pressure. And yeah, like and you want to be popular. You want to fit in with the popular
You want to
crowd.
get famous.
You want to be famous within your school, right? Wherever you are. And sometimes you could get caught up, and then it's you realize after it's not the thing I shouldn't have done that. So yes, to answer your question, it's happened to me.
hmm. Okay, so I think the main thing that we're gonna get out of this part of the workshop before we move into Derek's part is that don't be afraid ever if you're feeling uncomfortable about something, or even if you don't feel like you have the comfort to say no to somebody, leave, get out of situations that you're not comfortable with, and tell somebody who can help you out, okay? Or who can help you sort it out, okay? Because sometimes, you don't necessarily have to ask somebody to do something for you, but you can just say, you know what, this is what's going on. Can you give me some ideas on how I can handle this situation? Okay, and they'll give you some ideas. You can practice with them, okay, so that you start feeling comfortable making those kinds of decisions. And that's why it's so important to really tell someone and have those people that you trust to be able to connect with when you're in sticky situations where you don't want to do something. Okay, I'm going to pass it over to Derek, and he's going to share a little bit more with us.
Great. Well, thank you. Life lesson co-hosts. Can I get a wave? Hey. All right. Very serious topic. When to say no, right? When to say no. Before I forget, I had a student who, well, two students. One student had sticky fingers when he went inside a store. What do you think he did? Ugh, with his sticky fingers? When he went in the store and he walked out of the store without paying. So what is that called? Julian, what's that called?
That's like stealing, I think.
Stealing, correct, right. So, and here was a student that was getting ready for high school. Okay, so
What age?
people knew about that. So he was getting towards being 14. Now, another student, I had said to this student, don't go shopping or don't go to the mall with the student. He's a good person, but he's making bad choices. Now, that one boy or young man who wanted to get into being on the basketball team couldn't say no because he wanted to fit in the in crowd. So guess what, life lesson co-hosts? They went to the local mall and listen very carefully. The sticky finger guy went in and he says, I want you to stand just by the door. So the guy says, okay, I'll stand by the door. The other guy, sticky fingers, went in and a security guard saw him doing something sticky with his fingers. What do you think he was doing in the store? Julian.
I just said it looks like he's stealing.
Yeah. So The guy couldn't say no. I had told him I was working with him in that. So just please, right? Listen to trusted adults, as Patricia was saying earlier. Okay, here's a great book. Yes, no. Let's say yes. Yes.
Yes.
Let's say no.
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 And when you say no, mean it, co-hosts, right? Okay. When someone says or shows no, it's our job to listen and stop right away. There are lots of ways that people say no when they don't want to do something. So we need to pay extra attention. Now, here we have stop. That's one way. Not really. Maybe later. Not today. And be assertive, right? I don't know. I don't like that. I'm not sure. And maybe, right? There are lots of ways, but a definite no will get a person off your back, right? Because if you say maybe, then they still think they have a chance. Okay, right. Co-hosts, you've been sitting for a while. You will remain sitting. But what I'd like you to do is to get a piece of paper, if you have one, and fold it in half. So can we fold it in half? Can you fold it in half, Stevie? Stevie, fold it in half. Right. Okay, so you have it and it's folded in the middle. And on one side of your paper, you're going to print, I said no when. When did you say no? I said no when. Think of a time that you said no. And co-hosts, think of a time that you're willing to share, right, with our viewers here. If it's private, then please, we respect that. Keep it private, right? I said no when. When did you say no? And what happened when you said no? Who's ready? Patricia, are you ready to share a time when you said no? Okay,
Yeah.
Patricia, go ahead, please.
I said no. One time I was skating with my family and some friends, and when I skate, because I've had a concussion and I've hurt my brain a long time ago, when I skate, I always wear a helmet, like a hockey helmet, to protect my brain. And some of the people were like, Patricia, you don't need a helmet. This is a baby skating rink. You're not going to fall. And I was feeling a little bit self-conscious because nobody else was wearing helmets. But I had to say, no thanks. I need to wear a helmet. And I wore one because I knew that in my head that I felt right about protecting my brain.
Well, thank you, and good for you. That shows that you had the self-confidence to protect your own safety, right? So that's excellent, and it reminds me of a lot of us were put into that predicament. Not to compare this to your brain injury, but during COVID, mask, no mask.
Yes.
Follow the crowd
During COVID, when?
during COVID, right? 2020, 2021, and so on and that. Thank you, Patricia. Okay, what about some co-hosts when you said time when you said no? Tejan.
Yeah, I can think of one that comes to mind. There's many times I said no, but one that comes to mind is when I quit my part-time job as a barn worker last year in September. I had the job for 14 months. My manager wanted me to work there a bit longer because he needed people, low staff, but the job took a toll on my mental health and made me depressed, and I didn't enjoy having to constantly clean up bird poop, on Fridays and weekends. And the job just didn't make me feel like I was using my skills, which is my communication skills, to my full advantage. So I wanted to try something new. That's one of the many times I said no.
So you had to move on, right?
Yeah,
Wow. Wow. Thank you,
expand my
Tejan.
horizons. No problem.
Yeah, the best is yet to come, and we're so happy to have you here as one of our amazing co-hosts. All
I
right.
appreciate that.
Yeah, well, you're more than welcome. Okay, Neela, Sierra, Jaden, Julian, a time when you said no. Sierra, do you have a time?
Mm, when when I'm busy, my friend asked me, "Oh, can you hang out?" But I said no because already have other plans.
Right. Right. So you had other plans, right? And plans that you probably had for a while, and you didn't want to, and you couldn't really get out of that, out of changing them. Is that correct, Sierra?
Yes.
All right, great example. Wow. Okay. Jaden, Tajon, Julian. Or Tajon, you already gave a great example. Neela, Julian.
Yes,
I got one.
Oh, okay. Okay, well, hold on, Julian. Ladies before gentlemen. Neela.
I've got an example when I said no and I didn't want to go. I say no for a lot of things, but I don't have a good example.
Okay.
I'm
fair
sorry.
Okay, no need to apologize, right? But you have the inner strength to say no. So that's very commendable, and I applaud you for that. And I applaud you. Patience is a virtue, Julian, right? Okay, so Julian and then Jaden. This is a juicy topic. Julian.
I know. Like something I'm not supposed to do, and they're forcing me to do it. I wouldn't do it at all.
So is that an example of peer pressure, Julian?
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Oh, that.
right. And you said no, right? Because in the
Mhm.
back of your brain, you're like, I don't feel comfortable doing this. Is that correct?
That's true.
Okay, well, thank you. All right, Jaden.
I said no to my dog.
You said- Okay. Yeah, I love that. Okay. And what did your dog want you to do, Jaden?
Give him food.
Oh, give him food. And what you had given it, he didn't need or she didn't need food at that time? Like it wasn't eating time?
No, when you poo on your floor.
Oh.
No. When you bark at me. Bark.
Oh, okay. So you said no to, Jaden said no to his dog. Excellent. Well, all great responses. Just know it's that inner feeling. It's that whisper inside, right? And often I'm thinking about my mom or my father. What would, yeah, growing up in that. Is that something that my mom or dad would be proud of? Or someone at Life Lessons? Because I respect all of you in that and that. So just know that that inner gut feeling, you go with that, and no one should be pressured to do something that they don't want to do, right? And it's called consent. And this is a book. Actually, it is for children, and it's about.
It's not for
adults. Well, it's for adults as well, but giving consent is you are saying yes, but
adults,
give consent,
children, and
right? Children and adults.
yeah,
Children and adults. So, Patricia, how are we for time?
We are ready to wrap it up, but absolutely consent is very critical. Okay, and it's an important subject that we really wanted to make sure that we touched on and that we had each and every one of you give your views on, because it's a very hard thing to do. It's hard to say no when you're in an environment or you're with people or even within yourself and you really want to do something. Okay, but if you can remove yourself from the situation, give yourself even a night to think about something and then go back to the table. Okay, and tell somebody about it. It's important. It's important to have a circle of friends and family that you trust, who trust you and who accept you for the way that you are. All right.
That is 100% true. I agree with that
to be
completely.
with.
Yeah, I agree 100%.
Mm-hmm. Derek?
Yeah, and I was just saying we've come full circle because like what I had said earlier about that student who was told like don't, great guy, but his behavior, his choices aren't good. And then who do you think was involved was the police. And then he had to call his mom and his mother had to come and pick him up at the police station. So, you're forward thinking. He was thinking about getting into the right high school and doing the right
You're like
thing.
Grandpa Daniel.
That's right. Yeah. So think about it. Make the right choices.
Absolutely. So on that note, we're so proud of you guys, proud of what you are and who you are, and really thankful for you for sharing your views on how to say no and your experiences. So we're going to wave everybody out. We're going to say thank you so much, everyone, for joining us at Life Lessons for our Safer Communities Grant Workshop. And we will see you at our next show. Take care.
Yeah.
Bye.
The next time.
Bye. See you.